Welcome to FatHead with Christian and Monty. Christian
Hello.
is playing around with his lights right now. We're trying to. He's fiddling with those with his lights, and they're
Figuring
like
things out. Yeah,
not blinding us.
I think I got it figured out though.
Think so?
Let me try something here.
So, are you excited about today? I mean, we're having.
I'm excited. I'm nervous.
Really?
You know, I don't know. No, not nervous.
Anxious.
Just that I'm afraid. No, I'm kidding.
I'm afraid Tom is going to come on and maybe show his junk or something. With Tom Arnold, you just never know what is
true.
And then that will be imprinted on my mind for all time. And then I'm going to have to start picturing, oh my goodness. Actually, that was a really bad road to go down mentally. So that's a different, looks like a different camera. Switch cameras or something. So yes, Christian's doing the big time losing him thing here. We might lose him.
Dang it!
Don't know. Oh, we got that.
Let me try stopping video.
Yep. So
how's that now?
1, 2, 3,
4.
Oh, way delayed. Really, really delayed. Big time.
Come on, there's nobody in town here. This is ridiculous.
Well, you're in the middle of
got full bars.
You're in the middle of nowhere. Gotta keep that
yes.
So,
but
So Tom and Sasha are on today. I don't know if so. I'm talking to our audience. I'll let Christian work that stuff out while I tell you about what's happening. So Tom and Sasha Boggs, Tom Arnold and Sasha Boggs have a podcast of their own called Two in the Bush, of which I'm a big fan of the show. I like occasionally listening to Tom's rants and raves, and Sasha seems like the reasonable person in the room when he goes off on the rants, which is why I invited both of them on today. I thought, hey, let's maybe bring Sasha on with Tom to
keep him on track.
Keep him on track, just like you. Yeah, you're helping me keep on track. Sorry, I'm going to stop looking at my iPad. Looking at the news about the water on the moon, and I'm thinking, they found water on the moon. What if they just found where Buzz Aldrin peed? What if that's what it was?
And it just doesn't evaporate.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't evaporate. It's just ice.
When they really found water on the moon?
Yeah, that was on CNN. Yeah, water on the moon. Yep.
I don't buy it.
It's pee. I mean, it's just from humans or Russians that were there, or aliens.
That's right.
We basically found a porta potty left by aliens. That's what oh man. Speaking of porta potties, I was thinking about Louisiana because they just got a warning that they might get hit with Hurricane something Z.
Are you kidding?
I'm kidding. Can you imagine if another hurricane would have hit right where we were in Lake Charles, Louisiana?
So a third one?
That's what they're saying. That's absolutely new hurricane developing in the Caribbean right now, and it's actually forecasted right now to hit Lake Charles area on 7 p.m. Wednesday.
Jeez.
So, but it looks like it might take an easterly route, so it might wipe out New Orleans again too. I don't know. You never know.
They got to stop that Mardi Gras.
Yeah, you got to wonder if is there a proverbial child in the sky with buckets or the kids with magnifying glasses and ants, right? I mean, that's just it's like somebody is bored and they just want to say, hey, we want those to ant or like ants to us. We entertain us. We shall smite your house and entertain us with how you recover.
Yeah. Oh dear. Salud.
Ongoing experiment going on as we speak.
Well, really quickly going back to Tom being on and Sasha.
Oh, Tom
Arnold.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold.
I forgot all about him. I just thought it was about me and you.
Well, it really is. They're going to come on and just,
There are monkeys.
They're fillers.
They
Yeah.
entertain people just like monkeys.
No, excited to have them on, but of course, Tom's going to talk about some.
Well, Tom's coming on right now. I just admitted him to this room. And, so we shall have Tom Arnold on any second here. It says it's connecting his audio. And he'll be live. And there's Sasha and Tom.
Here. There we go.
Nothing.
We're here. Me and Sasha are here.
I love the
Aloha, guys.
Hello, hi guys. Got my Iowa shirt on.
Yeah. You knew I would come and get you if you weren't wearing an Iowa shirt, right?
Oh yeah. Can you hear us? How are we sounding?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got my California shorts on.
Oh, it's so nice here. It is so nice today.
Tom,
man.
I really don't want to hear it. It's 30 degrees and snowing here. I don't want to hear it.
When I woke up this morning at 6:30, it was -18.
-18.
Oh, where are you? The North Pole? Getting ready for
I'm in
Christmas?
Montana right now.
I know. It's 30 degrees. So
you're
what's
on
it going to be
break.
like? We're coming Thursday.
You're coming
Gotta get parkas.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. You're going to want parkas, and get those hand heaters, those chemical hand heaters that you put in your pockets.
No, we are. Listen, we are wussies. My kids and I are tough. We don't need chemical hand heaters.
I do.
Yeah, she does because she's from North Carolina.
It's just a good thing to have with you. I mean, even if if your car breaks down, I mean, you have to be prepared for stuff like that because it does happen.
Yeah. What are you talking about? We aren't doing the Iditarod with Huskies or whatever. We're doing to Iowa. We're going to get an Enterprise rent-a-car, a SUV.
Oh man!
And then we're going to drive to Ottumwa or wherever. They've got roadside service. You push a button, but
if you mention in the podcast, they'll upgrade your car for free to like a BMW or something. Seriously, I rent from Enterprise all the time. Yep.
Well, there you go. Well, the worst case scenario is the car breaks down. You knock on a door. You say, "Hi, I'm Tom Arnold," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, come in, have some pie."
Or they're conservatives and they kick you out and throw you first place person in the snow.
They don't, that those kind of conservatives are maybe out on the street at the Trump rally. First of all, I wouldn't go in because they probably have COVID, and I wouldn't put my kids through that.
So you don't want to go to the Pence thing with me on Thursday? That's going to happen here in Des Moines.
Well, I assume that by Thursday they're going to probably have to. He'll be living in a bubble. He'll be living in the John Oliver. I don't know if you watch John Oliver. He's so funny on Sunday nights on HBO. But he built that sort of bubble for himself to go down to name the water sewage platform in Danbury, Connecticut. But I think that's probably what'll happen. But or one of his Space Force uniforms. I
don't think they'll let you close to him. But we could go to. I'm sure fans would love you.
Has anyone done this? I really want someone to get in a fly costume and go to a Mike Pence rally and just sit in the background and say nothing except like boo.
Well, Borat.
Hilarious. I know people.
Borat. You can't top the Borat.
The new Borat movie. Yeah.
I'm 3/4 of the way in.
Dude, how was that Giuliani scene? That made me super uncomfortable.
It was good. Number one, we have to credit our Iowa pal Jennifer Jacobs over there at Bloomberg, who we all spoke to a couple weeks ago, and I talked to her on Air Force One. She was going to do the podcast with us, wasn't she, Monty?
She was. Yeah.
And then she and I chatted a little bit after we were going to do the podcast with you boys.
Friends.
And then something was up on Air Force One, and it was Hope Hicks was sick and blowing her sickness all over everyone. Then she broke that, and as well as Mike Pence, the fellow big man like us, who was at the what's his name was sick, and so she broke that. And then Maggie Haberman had Mark Short, who I think Mark Short is a robot. What do they call what Arnold was? Terminator, whatever.
Oh yeah,
non-human organism.
Yeah.
A cyborg.
But okay, so the Borat This is something that nobody knows. My security guy, who's this Israeli former military, well, how would you describe him? Special. What did he do? He shows you pictures? But
he's a fixer.
No, he's not a fixer. He's a legitimate former. I don't know if you say this on. He's a spinner. No, but he was in the military, Israeli military. He was an officer. He used to. One of his duties was guarding the president overseas. He's a legitimate guy, but he coached her, the amazing actress who played Sasha Baron Cohen's daughter.
Yeah,
amazing. She went to an open casting call. She deserves an Oscar nomination. She's so brilliant, and she's from Bulgaria. That's all she spoke.
Oh no!
He speaks Hebrew throughout, like kind of a rough version, and so there's 2 or 3 languages.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like, they were singing Bulgarian, and then there's like 2 other ones, and they were all having a conversation, and like nobody was like speaking.
You're kidding.
It was all made up. I just figured they were literally making up as they went.
Because that country does this. But he coached her on how to sit down for that interview. Number one, the fact that she got the interview, guys. that this person from this place that doesn't exist got an interview with the president's lawyer. And then sort of coached her on how to, make him feel sorry for her. And you can't go, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make him go in the bedroom with you, get drunk on whiskey, and be weird. Yeah, because a normal lawyer would go, why? First of all, he went there by himself.
They would never put themselves in that position. Just like Pence doesn't go anywhere without his wife. Yeah,
well, that's probably for good reason, but also there's a point in there where the Borat, his character busts in before in another character as the husband of this young woman, a journalist, and starts a fight with her. They're so inappropriate. You go, oh, and I got to get out of here. If you're Rudy Giuliani, if you know what you're doing.
And this was for real. The fight was for real.
In the movie, he still stayed, and then adjourns later when the husband leaves, and comforts her in the next room, in the bedroom, on the bed. And that's what.
So if that's not a huge red flag in Rudy Giuliani's mind, what other stuff has he seen in the White House? I mean,
no, but Rudy goes
red flag everywhere.
He said he was tucking in his pants. He said he was tucking in his shirt, laying down on the bed.
After the crazy husband,
what was that, Sasha?
Sound man comes in and has a fight with his wife, and then storms out. Rudy goes, now I make my move on her. I go,
at least that's how it is.
Yeah, I mean, that was maybe when I was in college, I would have thought that was a good move.
I think every person has a level of critical thinking.
Yeah.
And some people aren't that great.
No. Nobody.
I see a pattern.
Nobody do it on.
I see an absolute pattern here. And the pattern is that Trump has really bad judgment in lawyers.
Yeah, I speak for that.
I mean, I mean, from the guy who turned around New York City, I mean, you think he'd have a bit more common sense than that,
So you got Giuliani, maybe he's got Alzheimer's or something too. We got to give him some credit on that.
But he does.
And he's getting attention from a pretty girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the old shaky hand on the smaller back.
Yeah. Everybody likes that.
I do.
Yeah, Tom does that.
But I have to tell you this. I'm not able to diagnose Alzheimer's on Rudy Giuliani, but he is able to diagnose it on Joe Biden. So I don't know if he has Alzheimer's where you have the magic of doing it on other people. But watching him on Fox now with the Hunter Biden stuff and the conspiracy stuff is kind of a treat. Because Fox is in a position where they have to go with this because they're 8 days out. So they got to go with this conspiracy thing, which even the New York Post won't put their name on it. Like the writer, the guy that wrote it, like, I'm not anywhere near this. And their sister newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, has proven it not true. So they're in that unique position as a News Corp entity, which is what Rupert Murdoch owns all this.
There's a lot of
okay. What's that?
There's a lot of half-truths in every story that comes out.
Well, you could say anything, and then they're like, why won't Joe Biden discuss this. Well, it's like, are you still beating your wife?
Yeah.
Yes or no. It's that old political thing. You just don't. Yes or no is a bad answer. Either one. So I mean, it's
let's go.
That's all I thought.
Let's go in this direction, Tom. You know this. I told you I was going to do it before I did it, but I outed myself as somebody that is not going to vote for Trump. This bit, and I've gotten a lot of heat over it. But I want you to tell our audience, because they probably don't know. But what is your history with Trump? Why are you so enthusiastically against him? And Sasha, what have you experienced with Tom on this also?
Well, first of all,
many late nights.
First of all, let me say that as I've explained to Sasha who you are, Sasha's had a lot of experience. I say she knows you're from Iowa. She knows Iowa is the center of the universe to me. She knows how I feel about Iowa. We've communicated with a lot of people. Part of what I do, I've known Trump for 35 years. I have a history with him. He's called the house. I've spent time with him. I've been to the Playboy Mansion with him. I've gone to good charity events with him and his wife and my wife, but I went to the Playboy Mansion with him to meet his new girlfriend, Karen McDougal, knowing his wife was there. So and his daughter.
His daughter at the Playboy Mansion?
Yeah, no, she was there. You can see pictures. So that was after he'd done my sports show. So I need to know that too, because that makes me not the sleaziest guy of the two, but that was not a appropriate thing for me to do. But then, he went and he'd been on my show, but I didn't realize that Melania was there. He's like, I want you to come meet my new girlfriend, but that's not appropriate for me to do either. But he also, but we broke up when he started the birther stuff, because, I always felt like Barack Obama, whatever your politics are, is a great American success story. This kid.
Sure. So millennials that don't know this, Donald Trump questioned Barack Obama's citizenship and the fact that he was born in Hawaii. Just in case you don't know.
He did it on TV, on national TV. And Barack Obama, I'm Jewish, and the first Jewish president, if somebody questioned he'd be that person would never be able to go on TV again, probably. Right. Certainly wouldn't be able to be president. But I also, because I like to, if anybody has anything to do with Iowa, I claim them. I love Iowa. Any connection to Iowa, I'm like that. I got it. I support them.
I've been there.
Well, the people here are different, especially when it comes to politics. We actually, and Christian hasn't, I've tried to explain this to him. I don't think I quite got through, but, if you're running for president, you have to be willing to sit down in a cafe booth with voters and talk one-on-one sometimes.
I love that, though. I love that.
It doesn't happen anywhere else in any other state. You can't just sit down and talk to Rick Santorum or Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But we get to do that stuff here.
You got to hit. In the old days, you had to hit all 99 counties, and that was such a great thing. And people would, when I was growing up in Ottumwa, we went up and visited the Capitol, the State House, and we had government classes, and some kids were Democrats and some were Republicans, and we practiced getting passing bills in school. And Robert Ray was a great Republican governor, and really decent guy, and I got to know him. And my dad was a Republican, obviously, and Herschel Lovelace was a governor for my town, and
I didn't know your dad was Republican.
Oh yeah, of course he was, because he was all dads are Republicans.
All dads are Republicans.
Yeah, but
all dads are Republican.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill said it best. He said, if you're young and not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're old and not a conservative, you have no brain.
Well, that's how it was, and they were, but it wasn't like this Republican Party, the Trump Republican Party. That's not even, Trump wasn't even a Republican,
Exactly.
So,
Trump was a Democrat. He was a pro-choice, anti-gun, stop and frisk. That's, that's who this guy really is. He wants to stop people on the street and frisk them with no reasonable suspicion of committing a crime. And he's spoken out about that. And, that's just a deal breaker for me right there. It's a violation of every right that we have.
Well, here's the thing too. We all had guns growing up, and we were taught. The NRA had gun safety classes growing up, and we all had guns, and of course we had guns, and we learned, we hunted, and we did all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we didn't have unlimited guns concealed. We learned. First of all, you learned how to shoot guns. You learned how to maintain guns. You're cautious.
Well, you learn to respect it and to
yeah. First thing you learn when you're a kid is guns are dangerous. You be careful. You learn how to use them. You learn how to clean them. You learn how to store them. You don't just go willy-nilly, and you have a healthy respect for guns.
Yep.
And that's what you do. And just don't, and of course, in Y camp, there's the gun course, the rifle range, you get, so it's just part of who you are, and you share that, and you go hunting with your grandpa.
We still have that today. The school that my daughter goes to actually has a skeet shooting class.
Yeah.
So you can go shoot shotguns at her school.
That's fun.
I think they should rename that nowadays.
Yeah.
But
call it something else.
Well, that's the thing. It's either way over here. It's an Olympic sport too. It's either way over here or way over here. Yeah. And but gun safety and common sense gun legislation is appropriate. And
but do you believe that people should have access to automatic weapons?
Well, no, they aren't automatic. But you know what they're going to say? They're going to say no. That they'll say you're talking about the wrong thing. But semi-automatic.
I have a permit. I have a permit to carry concealed weapons, and I can also go buy. But I can't go buy automatic weapons. Autos. No. That's something completely different. Semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic. Semi-automatics are bad, and you can get a kit. You can turn it, but even semi-automatic, even they are 15s. They get those are just unnecessary.
Yeah,
they're unnecessary. They're just unnecessary.
So what are you going to do if I said I have one, and I've never shot and killed anybody? I don't have one.
Okay. I just don't like seeing teenagers. Yeah, well, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. But I think you know how to. I'm totally fine. I know you have a concealed permit. That's fine. You know how to operate it. Mm-hmm. But we need to focus on that. I also think that I don't like gun shows because anybody can walk in there. You don't have. I've never been to a gun show. Yeah, anyway, this is what I think. Let's get the National Gun Registry. We should keep track of stuff for law enforcement, for anybody, and then and that's what I think. And so we have to talk about that and get that, and I think that you are a very cautious person, and we don't this interstate being able to carry guns coming into California where our laws are different. Mm-hmm. You guys are for state rights, but then Trump wanted to make it so you could just cross the country with
reciprocation. Yep.
It's not good. I don't want to be sitting in a theater in California and have a guy come in behind us from wherever, Indiana, by the way, where you can buy whatever you want, bring it into Illinois. So that's another discussion. But I do want to say this. So Monty's a good guy. I was explaining Monty is a nice Iowa boy.
Tom and I have been talking since 2014, and I've shared pretty much all of my happenings with him. Privately, I've just never said, "Hey, I talked to Tom Arnold and tell him what I'm experiencing out here in the field."
I'm a good guy too.
He went around and took up all the campaigns, and he had wonderful photography, and he had a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And I've always been unobjective. Because I know Trump, because I know how these people operate. My goal has always been to get him not in the White House, and I've always been. And Monty's a really decent guy.
I started it with an open mind, not just. I mean, I still don't. I don't hate Donald Trump. I don't wish anything bad on him, but I have a 17, going to be a 17-year-old daughter here in a couple of days. That when I heard him say those comments getting off that bus, I thought about my daughter, and it's like, this guy could be the president of the United States, and this is the attitude he has towards women. And with a young daughter, I couldn't do it. I could not cast that vote because of that one issue alone.
Yeah. Well, that's how
I know a lot of people. Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people said that it was, locker room talk or whatever like that. But
I've never talked like that in the locker room.
No, neither do I. Neither do I. But yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Here's the deal. Ridiculous. He lies every time he opens his mouth. He doesn't have this COVID thing under control. Obviously, everybody in the White House has it. He doesn't care. And you know, if you think he's for the farmer, you're wrong. He'll do anything. He's so transactional. You know, if he gets back in the White House, we're screwed. I'm going to tell you that. You look at who his friendships are with, and he's un-American. He's never been of service to anyone.
Well, let me ask you this. Who are his real friends? Because I thought that he had a real friends, but they ended up in jail.
It doesn't have any, and there are more people going to jail. What's going to come out and what's coming out now is, you know, this Steve Bannon build the wall thing that he had with Don Jr. That's all goes back to PPE. When it first happened, Don Jr. and Jared Kushner and Bannon started the market of PPE. They thought, well, we'll make money on this with COVID. We'll do all the private stuff. We'll put it in the private sector, but we're also going to all make money because this will be a good opportunity to make money with the pandemic. And a lot of that came from China. And so that's part of the thing that Bannon got in trouble for with the Build the Wall. The CEO of Build the Wall, who turned on them.
Is that whose yacht he was found on? He was found on.
There's bad. I love when they talk about Biden and Biden's son with China. That's a Chinese billionaire who is involved with the PPE from Trump, and we want to make this a private industry.
Who doesn't hang out with Chinese billionaires on yachts? I mean, you and I, of course, do all the time, right?
I wish I did, but you know, Iowa also was the center of that. There's so many people that, you know, like that Sam Clovis, that character, and he's connected to Papadopoulos and all these people, and you know, Iowa, and you know, Andy McCabe's wife is from Iowa, and I've known their family for 25 or her brother's one of my best friends, Jeff McFarland, one of my best friends for 25 years. So I know there's a lot of people, and you know that Matt Whitaker was a Hawkeye, so I've seen him naked in the locker room, and just a lot of, there's a lot of people from Iowa that are somehow involved with all this stuff, and we have the first primary. It's a big,
to anybody politically active in Iowa who jumped on the Trump bandwagon was asked to come to Washington, D.C. to work for the administration at some level. So, I mean, everybody got the offer.
Yeah.
Do they turn down six-figure jobs and an office in the White House? I mean, I don't know if I would I wanted to be the president's photographer. I didn't actively lobby for it, but you know, that's kind of a dream of mine. Yeah. And I would still do it, and I would do it objectively if I was actually hired to be the photographer for the White House.
Yeah, well, you know, the Obama's photographer, you see that documentary?
I have.
Yeah, oh my God.
It's so amazing.
But I have to say this. So as you know, there are people, I certainly know this, everybody that's working for Trump, especially now, talks to people in the media.
They do.
They're like,
they all leak. I mean, I've got leakers. Yeah.
Yeah. And as do I, as does Jennifer Jacobs, because it's immediate. Because these people are like, we need to work after this.
That's a smart way to do it if you think about it, because if you stand up to him, he's going to fire you, and then you have no power. But if you stay in there, pretend to work for him, and then secretly leak information to take him down, that does help.
It's also the nature.
You're right, Sasha, but it's a little. I think it's a little different because the couple of people that leaked, and Tom knows who they are. I've told him, you know, it's off the record, but you know, his purpose for leaking to me is to correct Trump's course without it coming from his mouth.
Right.
And that so they use people like us to get information out to the public to change Trump's course.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But it does originally, Bonnie. But now, you know, there's a lot of people that want to work afterwards. They're like, oh my God, there was also a group of people like, I'm saving the country. I talk to these people. Some of them I record, and some of them I play out there. And then I mean, I don't record all of them, but Michael Cohen, sure, you know.
I record everything.
Nobody,
I just everybody else does too.
And I have to say this, for a private citizen, a guy from Iowa, to go out, and there's nobody that was closer to Donald Trump than Michael Cohen. He was his fixer for 10 years, his personal lawyer. and to go, I had this TV show, not for the Trump tapes, but to say, I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to meet him. And, everybody wants to keep a foot in the door with Trump. They're like, well, I'm going to, he got in trouble, but he still wants to get a pardon at that time. He still wants to be sort of a buddy. And for me to go, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to break him up with Trump. I'm going to do a scorched earth thing, and I'm going to ruin his relationship with Trump. And for me to personally do that, and he tried to stay in there, and I had to make it so bad that that Trump and got so mad, and he was struggling. He's like, you can't do this. You're ruining my relationship with the White House. And
Trump is really easy to trigger. I mean, you can trigger him. I triggered him with one single tweet of empty chairs at a rally. Mm-hmm. He did not fill up the rally, so I tweeted it out, and then Fox News and CNN and Jennifer and all those retweeted it, and that's what got me locked out for months.
Yeah,
for months, just one single tweet.
Right.
You were locked up, like
I was locked out. They locked me out of all public events.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I released the information on the company that makes his hair, and that forget about
Write this down for my head.
Forget about it.
Was it made in China?
It was made in China. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Out of
and
it looked like a candy.
They use ferrets. Is what I've heard.
They do.
But,
they moved him to Montana.
Yeah.
He has to live in Montana in a bunker.
That's right. I'm California to Montana.
Well,
I'm under the witness protection program. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's you're doing God's work. I'd say that's a really good. That's an excellent, for real.
Yeah.
That, both of you boys, but that one, because that was gonna for sure. Well,
okay, so you guys are coming to Iowa, and Sasha, you've been to Iowa one time.
And Bonnie, let me finish this. My pinned tweet video to go further on this is a call that Michael Cohen called me on June 1st to say he'd just gotten out of prison. In fact, he'd been in solitary confinement for 31 days because Trump saw a tweet of mine that pissed him off so much he had Bill Barr put him in solitary, which was a tweet about him coming out of jail with his book. And if you listen and watch this video, I put up the New York Times and other things that say him hanging out with me pisses Trump off so much from the day I met him. It upsets the White House, and Giuliani is calling him and saying, you can't hang out with Tom Arnold. It's upset him so much. And then there's even some receipts, as they call it, but you can hear him say, you got me 35 days in the hole. You cannot tweet. I know you hate Donald Trump. And this is just recently.
It's on Instagram TV also. I watched it on Instagram. Your video is on Instagram.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
that's how, but you can't put, so that's why she thought you said you got locked up. You're in prison.
Everybody's getting locked up.
I'll tell you what.
Right?
I have actually been, and I'm not one to scream, oh, they pushed me or they punched me or whatever. But Corey Lewandowski physically.
You were telling me this story earlier.
He's just a little guy. Corey Lewandowski once pushed me so hard that I almost fell over backwards holding on my gear, and I almost fell over on another photographer.
Yeah.
So,
you know what you should do with him? Just hit him as hard as you can right in the nose, because that's what you do with a bully. Because they see stars. And I don't know if you got punched in the nose growing up, Bonnie.
I did.
But you did. But that's what shows them. Just as hard as you can one time, and then that works.
He was surrounded.
We'll stick out Sasha there
at the time.
You got to teach your kids that one time. And that Corey, let me tell you something about him, man. He's got if after this, because he's transactional too. He's back with the campaign. He got treated like a dog. He got fired, and he actually kind of did the right thing with Mueller and Trump when he wouldn't do the dirty work. Everybody talks about Don McGahn. Don McGahn's a scum. He just wanted to get the Supreme Court like he thinks. He's one of these men that wants to go back to when women were subservient and whatever. And he's a very smart lawyer. But Corey Lewandowski said, no, whoa, you want me to what? Donald Trump? And, guys that are in his position always do what their boss tells them to do. But he did it. And I know he's rough. I know that him and Hope Hicks, she beat the crap out of him.
Well, they were having an illicit affair. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, but also, I also know this. Michael Cohen hates Corey Lewandowski. A lot of people don't like him, which tells me he's probably okay sometimes, because the people that don't like him, like Michael Cohen right now, is withholding a bunch of Trump stuff.
I'm sure
he is back with Jerry Falwell Jr.
Why is he back with Jerry Falwell? Why would anybody want to be with Jerry Falwell Jr. after that dirt?
Buddy, I called him a couple weeks ago and I said, I need you to do this. You fixed the pool boy thing for Jerry Falwell. Now the pool boy is come forward. Jerry's out. And Jerry is being crappy to the pool boy. He is threatening him. He's saying, don't bend over to pick up the soap in prison. I want you to, he wants out of that deal, that real estate deal for the gay youth hostel they have in Miami.
Yep.
I want you to be the fixer for the pool boy with the Falwells and get him 10% of his money. Just get him out. And he wouldn't do it. And then I found out he'd been meeting with them. They paid him. Michael Cohen has so much more he could be sharing about Trump. He withheld it from his book. And that's why I put that tweet up, because you also see text messages between us where he won't even talk to Julie K. Brown, this great journalist friend of mine for the Miami Herald, who broke all the Epstein stuff. There was an anonymous hack back in the spring where they got documents, sealed documents about Trump and Epstein, and Michael Cohen's name is on them. And you can hear on the voicemail where I start talking about that. I go, of course you'll acknowledge those, right? You know, of course your name's on it. And he never has. And it's 8 days before the election. And he better step it up, because he's got a podcast. He's all public now. He's all, I got to stop.
Why don't we call him? Why don't we call him?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's call him.
Lewandowski. Let's call him.
Well, I thought about calling
Lewandowski.
Corey. Yeah. Should we call Corey?
Dude, call him. I blasted him. He's away. Read those text messages, man. Read the three-way text with me and Julie K. Brown and him a couple Saturdays ago, late night, when he's never responded to her. In 2016, she started reaching out to him. He did on the three-way text, because I'm like, I will call. I did a Michael Cohen on him. Listen, if you don't respond right now, I'm going to call Rosie O'Donnell and all the women on The View, because he's all Mr. And I did a text about that long, and then he started responding. But he blamed that Mark Kasowitz, that other lawyer in New York. He handles the abortions. He handles the Epstein, Trump child rape cases, not me. And then Mark Kasowitz is the one that's representing Jared and Ivanka suing the Lincoln Project right now, and he does all the other stuff. And hey, tell them what it's like when you heard Michael Cohen call me. She didn't know who Michael Cohen was. Tell them what you said.
A lot of people don't.
You have a very friendship?
Yeah, no. He called. She heard one of these phone calls, and it started off like, he's like, maybe this phone call, Tom. You got it right when you got to prison. She didn't know he was. I
knew his name. I didn't know exactly his position. I had heard of Michael Cohen. Jesus Christ.
Not Jesus Christ. He's Michael Cohen.
I wouldn't have recognized him.
That's only part of the phone call, but it started acrimoniously, like always. He's blaming me for everything. We go into this whole thing about how,
Should we call him?
Get him on.
Well, I asked Tana Gertz.
I'll leave a voicemail.
I'll tell you this. Last night, the campaign, I assume, made Tana cancel her appearance. She was going to come on and talk with us and talk to you, Tana Gertz.
Oh. Yeah.
But then she texted back that the campaign has to okay all of her things and stuff like that. So, all right, we're going to call Corey.
I don't blame them for not coming on with me. I mean, why would they?
Because, I wanted somebody to counter you, I guess.
They can't.
Yeah, have a little counter.
Guys.
No, they
can.
So let's try. I'm going to put Corey on. I'm going to call him right now, and I'm going to bring that level up, and we'll see if he actually talks to me. He might.
If it's his voicemail, just order a pizza. Get like a pepperoni pizza or something.
Turn it up so I can hear it too.
You should be able to hear it.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Corey, this is Monty Godike from Iowa, the filmmaker. I'm here with Tom Arnold and Sasha Boggs and Christian Busaith, and we just wondered if you would be willing to come on our podcast and talk a little bit about your experience with President Trump. So
Corey,
again,
Corey, I'm going to kick your ass like Hope Hicks did. Get on here.
So call us back, and we'll wait a little bit for your call. Thanks. All right.
Yeah, so call us back, and thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
So yeah.
In his
Nice knowing you guys.
in his defense, Corey is smaller than Hope Hicks.
Yeah.
He's just a tiny little guy.
You know, and everybody, I'd say this, and, you know, the other boyfriend, that other bad guy that worked in, what was his name in the Trump administration? He'd been violent with another woman too, and
he lasted.
She had these issues with. I mean, she's a strange person.
I have not figured her out. I've talked to her several times at events, like in the back, when where she'll stand back by the press area and just kind of watch over things. I've talked to her, and she seems very removed, like she's almost not present in that situation.
She's been in domestic violent relationships, and sometimes that happens, you know. And you know, there's something going on. Her dad's a big publicist, am I right? Her dad's involved with.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I do know. The one thing that I do know that I observed is that she is one of very few people that Donald Trump will really listen to. I mean, her advice, when she gives it to him, he really takes it to heart, and very few people actually have that power.
But you know what's great about that? She gives crap advice, and he does listen. That's great for us. He really does. But I have to say, so the people that are still on that campaign, because, you know, Brad, what's his name, was looting the campaign, and he's under investigation. And there's so many people that were taking money for the campaign.
What a crazy deal that was, right? Down in Florida.
You know, he has obviously chemical dependency issues. He was abusing his wife. It's terrible.
As his employer, how did the campaign not realize that this guy's a total disaster waiting to happen?
Well, because Jared encourages private enterprise, okay? He also had all the digital stuff. So he had a lot that people wanted, you know, because they had a warehouse in Arizona where they're doing Russia. People in Macedonia used to be all the trolls. They used to rent a troll warehouse there, a troll farm, and that's when people that would troll me or troll you if you said I support Trump, and then we get a million trolls, and we get, I'm going to kill you, and they, you're nothing. You used to be married to Roseanne.
This is happening in Arizona. Is it the Scott Phoenix area? Yeah.
They said we can do it cheaper than in Russia, so they set up their. They still use the Macedonia thing to attack veterans, or
this might be our breaking news, but I think I might know who actually heads that up.
Okay, well there you go.
Together, I'll talk to you about that later.
But then it gets so, and people like us don't have the time to stop and we need to take care of that right now because we got to keep going forward. But you can't. But then they just got, because they're so bad. It's like the inauguration. Mark Burnett has his people go in and do this thing, and everybody's grabbing their stuff. And it's just like that. It's like Friends and Family Week over there. And that's just sort of how they do business. But when you get into government, you've got to be accountable.
Yes.
And it's just like with all the money that went out after this disaster that's still going on, people just started, and it happens after every disaster, whether you're Republican or Democrat, where they put all this money out, people start cheating. But it's never been like this, and it's still going on. That's the problem with the pandemic.
The funny thing is that, as my business came to a screeching halt because I video and photograph public events, my business came to a screeching halt, and companies that can afford to go without a paycheck for a little bit were funded, and people like me who applied for it, were told we don't do it for your size company and whatever. So it's like, so I have to do without a paycheck, but the guys making millions a year, they'll continue to get their paychecks.
Well, they're set up for this. The bigger business, they're set up. That's how they do business. That's how they write things off. Just like Jerry Falwell with this piece of property in Miami with this kid, the pool boy, he was using that to dump money and to lose money. He was never genuine with this young man that, this is his dream. He's going to build this up. He was always, I'm gonna lose money. From the moment he met this kid at the pool at the Fountain Blue in Miami, he said, "What do you want to do with your life?" He said, "Well, I'd like to give back to people." He said, "You have to have money before you give back. I will mentor you."
To take care of yourself first.
There's this youth hostel down the street I'd like to fix it up. He said, well, you know what? I'll partner with you. You get 25%. Becky and my son Trey will get the rest, and it'll be in our name. And the kids worked on it for like 7 years, and it was always a money loser for them, and they don't want to let him out of it. That's how people that are smart people. I wish I were smarter. I wish I had money, but they're set up for this. Oh, there's a pandemic. Okay, there's a lot of people that made so much money off this pandemic. Trump friends. That's why he's telling America it's fine, it's going to disappear. But he tells his friends, oh no, it's the shit's happening.
It's going to rain money.
Live accordingly, do the stocks accordingly, whatever. And so that's where we are now. And so,
have you had? I know. So I'm going to give you guys a plug on your podcast, Two in the Bush. It's a great podcast. I'm sure it's on Apple and it's on. I know it's on YouTube. Before I watch it.
Spotify.
Yep. Have you had the pool boy on there yet?
No, we haven't. I wanted to do the Michael thing. I mean, I talk to him all the time, and I'm trying to get. I'll tell you a secret. I'll break something here.
A secret.
When I'm trying to get because Michael Cohen went broke in the deal. I've been going back and forth with Larry Flint's folks, trying to get him to, because I think that'd be a nice full circle.
Boy.
If Larry Flint bought the portion of the pool boy. So I've been, going back and forth with Larry. If he bought the portion from the Falwells, because Larry Flint and the Falwell Senior had quite a deal. And by the way, Larry Flint and the Falwell Senior became friends, and they used to. Falwell Senior used to send Larry Flint Christmas cards after they had that huge thing where they went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Because Larry Flint did a cartoon about Falwell Senior having sex with his mom or something. Okay. They became friends later in life. They used to tour around the country together talking about the First Amendment, and they became buddies. And but Falwell Jr., this whole generation of money, evangelicals, money.
When you're handed money, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, but how great would that be? That's what I'm on the phone with now. Get that guy, because they can't choose who he sells his part to. So Jerry Falwell Jr. and Larry Flint, partners in their gay Miami youth hostel.
If you can't sell it, I mean, I'm no expert on real estate law.
No, but you can put the offer, and they'll have to match it. After 30 days. Yeah. I think that'd be, because they're messing with him. I think I showed you something how they're messing with him privately.
Tom, you're always messing with somebody on something, and you're probably messing with us now.
You're right. Yeah.
No, I'm not messing with you at all.
I know.
I don't think I've never messed with you. I don't have any reason to.
I'm messing with you. That's okay. So, Sasha, what are you guys going to do in Iowa?
Trick or treat, visit some family, go to that museum that you put your hands on.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Iowa
historical.
Yeah, we're going to see where I put my hands in my little display there. We're going to
driving around though with Tom. He's like, that's where I ran away from the cops. That's where I ran away from the cops. That's where I ran away from the cops. I'm like,
this is where we saw the tornado, and this is where we.
I love them.
That's where I was left, 12 years old, on the side of the highway and had to walk home.
What was the worst thing you did as an adolescent in Iowa?
Oh, God.
Worst thing.
I did as an adolescent. I mean, I used to detail support all over the, and I did get fired when my crew got fired when we were 13 by a freaking 15-year-old, and up there by Fremont, past Fremont, and had to hitchhike back to Ottumwa. And but that was just standard fare,
Wait,
everybody that you tapped.
Worst thing
he did to himself.
Well, I'll give you the worst thing I did as an adolescent was I used to pee in mailboxes. With
mailboxes?
Yeah, I peed in mailboxes. I used
to take a baseball bat, knock them down. You're just much nicer than me. We peed.
Do the water tower one.
Well, my brother, all the boys slept upstairs, and we used to pee out the window. There was no bathroom upstairs, so my dad. There's a yellow streak down the side of our house. Okay,
favorite my house. Yep.
In Ottumwa, there is the big water tower at Memorial Park, which you live across the street from.
Yep.
And down below it is the Ottumwa Zoo, which is a fenced-in menagerie of animals. And if a farmer found an animal like a wolf, they put it in the zoo, and there's monkeys in there too. It was a bad and there'd be a goose in there. It was a bad combination. It's one of those redneck things. It was like that Joe, what's that Netflix show?
Oh,
yeah, exotic Joe. Because there are people, as you know, in Iowa have exotic animals they should not have.
Yeah.
And so one night I woke up with a terrible hangover. My dad was kicking my bottom of my foot, and I look and it's my cousin Jim Clark, who's a cop. But yeah, everybody in the town. And he's like, hey, and I look at I'm in my stepmother's plant room, and all the plants are knocked downstairs. I'd obviously crawled through the window, and he's like, Tommy, did you climb Memorial Park Tower last night? And the tower is incredibly tall.
Oh, yeah.
And you climb up, you climb up, and then to get up to the tank, to get up to the tank, you have to let go.
And that was good to know you, Sasha.
You let go, and Sasha's seen it. You climb up, and then you have to let go and just pray that you can grab the tank, the extra rib. Anyway,
jeez.
Crazy.
So I said,
a reenactment of that, only put you on the chair.
Yeah, that's right. So I said, absolutely.
You called it, Christian.
So I said, absolutely not. I did not. No, that's crazy. And then my dad lifted up my hand. There was spray paint all over my head. He pointed out the window, and I'd written my name on it. And it's so dangerous.
What did you say?
You sounded brilliant. Sounded brilliant. Absolutely.
I forget what.
Did it say Tom or did it say?
I said. But I had black spray paint all over my hand, and also, then later my dad said, "You know how dangerous it was? You went up there, and then you climb up and it's dark, and then you let go. You have to let go, and then I had to pull myself up to the next thing." But and, that's kind of stuff when you have kids.
Danger in Iowa back when we were growing up, and you're a little bit older than me, but not that much. Danger wasn't something that really. I mean, we used to ride on mopeds, two of us, and one of us was backwards, and we used to have fireworks fights. Now, if you want to do it really well, what you do is you take the gas cap off of the mopeds and use that as a risk, because if you hit the gas tank of the moped with a firework, it's gonna explode, right? Yeah. So that was the game we were playing.
Yeah. Well, I have 4 younger brothers, so you can imagine. I mean, I when we went back, it was the first time my sister and brother and I had talked in 28 years. I put a picture up because Discovery Channel's doing a documentary series about my sister called The Queen of Meth, but it wasn't because the first time we talked because of her being in prison. It was because my little brother was mad at me, and if you have brothers, there's a lot of hazing, and you reminded me of the fireworks fights we'd have, and my brother, and this is terrible of me, and I'd apologize for this, but he owed me money, and I said, you got to pay me back $10, a month, because my other brothers, when they owed me money.
How much money did you loan?
It was enough to buy a used car, but the other brothers, I paid a couple brothers taxes.
You always leave that part out.
And but I did because I didn't think it was important. But
it is.
The other brothers, I paid the taxes, and then I didn't want them to feel like they owed me money. I wanted them to feel like they earned it. So my brother Mark, I took a picture of him in a diaper, laying next to his kid. In a diaper, and we owned the 5 small town newspapers, and then we put those in the newspapers. And then my other brother, we got to shave his head with sheep shears, and he had like acne on his head, and we did video of it, and it was bleeding. And then I showed that on Letterman. So
you were David Dobrik before David Dobrik existed, basically.
Yeah. But this brother, he was ignoring me. And so I was driving over by I saw him at the grocery store, and I parked around and ran in there, and this is 100% bullying. This is bad, and I apologize, but I saw him at a corner, common aisle. I picked him upside down and shook change out of his pocket, and it was and I apologized a million times after that. And my dad really wanted us to all be. And
he's apologized a million times, and he's told the story a million times.
No, because that happened.
I'm sure your brother
that happened.
And apologizes every time you say it, so it's like 2 million times you apologize.
I did crazy things for our brothers and sisters and stuff. I shot my sister with a BB gun in the butt one time, and oh my goodness!
How dare you?
My dad was so angry.
But when you're a father, these stories is just unacceptable. I get chills because my dad, he was a single dad. He was 22. I was 4. My sister's 3. My brother's 1. I always thought, man, he was boring. He worked at the factory and then he came home, and he didn't have a ton of time to play with us. He did though. And then when I started getting in trouble when I was a teenager, I thought, well, he didn't care. He had to bail me out of jail naked. I got arrested at the old folks' home for streaking, fighting, what they call interfering with official acts. That was fighting with the police or whatever. Yep. And I thought, well, he didn't really care. And then once you have a child, you go, he cared.
He did.
Because once you're a father, you care about everything. And so, I thought about him a lot. I'm a single 61-year-old father with a 7.5-year-old and a 4.5-year-old. And I think about him a lot. And if my kid got on I get nervous when we get on a Ferris wheel with my kids. And to think I got on that water tower, to think all the stupid stuff I did on my motorcycle and the drinking and all the crazy stuff, and then the drugs and everything. It's just outrageous, and the fighting and stuff. So anyway, it's funny. It's stories from the past, but man, you worry about everything.
Different times now because kids aren't laughing at kids anymore with social media. My mom, 6 years old, growing up in Santa Monica, I think she got on the big blue bus and would take it from Venice to the beach by herself with her twin sister, and they were maybe under 8 years old, and that was just the norm. So I don't feel have to.
Yeah,
but your mom had sense, and I don't know that it's just Iowa, but man.
No, it was that generation. It was the time. I mean, you could just walk anywhere. I mean, there were pedophiles everywhere, but they weren't as,
We had one across the street.
Well, even
that was bad.
Even in the 80s in California, it was like, go out, do what you want, just be back by 5, be back by dinner.
My mom and dad would be like, just don't go near that house.
Yeah.
It was funny because
they say?
when we moved back here.
Yeah, that's true.
In that house. After later, we ended up living in that house that used to be the bad house when we moved back to Michigan.
Hear about it later. My mom had she would bring us to work parties, and there'd be the one weird guy in the corner that would try to hang out with the kids. He was still invited to every party.
Oh yeah,
just didn't go over there.
Just watch out for him.
Yeah, and it's like, insane.
Yeah.
Different times.
Sasha, by the way, is that a Cheers hat? By the way, I'm sorry, it's been killing me.
It is.
One of the greatest shows ever.
Sasha is wonderful. She lives with the kids and she's so great with the kids. And
oh, that's awesome.
Sasha, how do you put up with Tom's? How shall I say? I don't even know how to put it. How do you put up with Tom?
Carefully,
last night I was kind of nasty to him. So I have to watch myself. It's an ebb and flow friendship, relationship. A balance helps. Distance helps. But all in all,
you actually seem to.
It makes the heart grow fonder.
Genuinely seem to like each other, and that's.
Oh, yeah. I do. I mean, I'm fascinated by him for his history of his life and everything. But him as take everything away, take his fame, take his, his persona of what everybody perceives, his personality, his true human traits are things that are these qualities that I truly value in another person. And I respect him, and he's entertaining. He's heartfelt. He's sincere and
genuine.
He's genuine. And you don't get that. People are either really boring, or really crazy, and has this ability to be more than what he seems. And sometimes people only get to see one part of it, but the more we've grown closer and our friendship has grown, he's like, 3 personalities in one. Good personalities.
3 good personalities in one.
I get really bored, and I think that's why I enjoy him so much, because I'm like, oh, which Tom am I getting today? And same thing with him. I'm either an overthinker and way too sincere, thinking about things, or we just start working and we're doing comedy bits together, or we're doing family time and we're doing with the kids. So
do you guys like the podcast? Do you like doing the podcast? Is that fun?
Yeah. I like doing it, just him and I, but the guests, it really opens our eyes and stuff. We're still trying to find the structure of it all, but it's a lot of fun.
Here too.
We're the same. Yeah.
She had me get out of the shower this morning to talk to a fan. She was beating on the door. Tom, a fan wants to talk to you. And I hadn't dried off. I was completely. It was a woman. It was my favorite fan. So is the woman from Enterprise on the phone. If it's somebody on the phone with Verizon or Enterprise, because those are fans.
Yes,
they can't see you.
And they can
just recognize my name or my voice. Yeah. And I don't know where they are in the universe, but the connection is the best. And I'll sit and I appreciate them so much because, especially during the pandemic, they're out there. And man,
I only do it to the special ones because they're like, and I just want to make sure here, Miss Boggs, that the Tom Arnold you're speaking about is the comedian. I was like, yes, it is. And she's like, okay, great. Well, I get to, as soon as I get off this phone, tell all my friends I helped my first celebrity. And I was like, can you hold on 1 second? I'm going to go get him out of the shower.
But you want those people to, because they work hard and they also,
fans are who pays your bills. I mean, those are the people that go out and buy the products that you make, and that's what.
Well, we had a locksmith in Ottumwa because she couldn't find the key. And by the way, for our rental car, and she dumpster dived for me, and they said, don't, because of COVID, do not, whatever you do, because she thought she might have thrown it in the trash. Don't go in the dumpster here at the whatever motel we're putting us up for the documentary. And she went into it. And that's another reason I respect her. She's very beautiful, very sexy, very smart.
All this work I do with the dumpster.
Do that impression of the locksmith real quick. In Iowa, locksmith talks to Sasha.
Oh
Go ahead.
God,
do it.
So, well, backstory, the guy was like, I'm going to try and get these keys made for you because it was a luxury car.
Yeah.
So he's on the phone and I'm digging through the grass. And all of a sudden he gets off the phone and he's like, Sasha, come in. And I get a little closer to the truck. He's like, hey, closer, come on over. And I was like, okay. And then he reaches out to grab me and I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. And then he grabs my wrist and he's like, I just wanted to hold you in case you fell over once you realize how expensive these prices are going to be.
Yeah. But then he told her that he wanted his mother-in-law. What did he say?
Well,
he got so personal.
I had 2 locksmiths in my life who still call. The other one called and he was like, so did you find the keys? And I'm like, no, but I got another locksmith to come. I'm so sorry. He goes, oh, it's okay. He's like, man, it's a rough day for me. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wish my mother-in-law would get COVID because I can't freaking stand her.
These are Iowa stories.
And for 15 minutes, the guy's on the phone with me, and I'm just like, he's just telling me his whole life story. And then I think he called back one more time to see how everything was going. Iowa is
but I said, different. Keep the locksmith. Locksmiths are good to keep on the list of friends.
Yes.
Yep. Because they can be very helpful.
Yep. So we used to just throw bricks through windows, but those weren't our car. So,
well,
so it sounds like COVID is the new "take my wife" joke.
Yeah. I also want to say that the Tom Arnold scholarship at Indian Hills is up. You can go to Indian Hills on the website. Indian Hills Community College is Southeast Iowa. I went there. I give 2 full ride scholarships every year. You got to write an essay. There's a theme. You can look it up there. Go to Indian Hills. What is it? Yeah, Indian Hills Community College. And the scholarship you could every year. It's a great thing. There's a. I should know the theme of the essay.
What's something good that's come out of COVID?
Yeah, what's something that's come out of Go on there, register, write a short essay. It'll say how many words. We read them all. I read them all. And I picked 2 winners. It's a wonderful community college. It changed my life. I went from being a factory worker to a factory worker who was also going to community college. And what it did for my head was done for our town. When our factories over the years have closed, those folks got to go and get re-educate themselves and learn other trades. And you could do so many things with this school. And it doesn't matter if you're young or old or from Ottumwa or from Iowa. I can tell that some people that have won over the years, I bet I've given out 50, 50, 60.
I'm going to enter the scholarship.
Some are from Africa, but I can tell. I always want to make sure somebody's from that area too. But the stories are incredible. And
so I'm going to ask you guys then, what are 2 good things that came out of COVID in your minds?
Oh, there's there's many things. You know, you get close. Sasha, absolutely. I would not have had the friendship I have with Sasha. You know, she's also been so good for my kids because, in all honesty, my daughter had never seen. First of all, there hadn't been a woman in the house for a long time. My daughter's 4. She never seen me have a. She never seen her mom and I hug. Her life. So she's never seen that a positive relationship. So I think that's a good thing. And because Sasha's here, we've got to talk about a lot of things. And she's been a really good influence with my daughter, and it's been good for me. It's just been great. That's been a very positive thing. It's been positive to do the work stuff we do together. It's been great for me because it was just me, and you know, I got to say, my kids it's a lot, you know, and so I've been able to breathe a little bit. There's been, you know, you get really close to few people,
yes.
You know, and you get
the people that are most important to you. You are forced to spend time with, and I got to the point where it was almost a little too much. But you know what I mean. What about you, Sasha? What are some things that came out of COVID that were positive for you?
I have to say the same. I mean, Tom, I started working with Tom right when COVID hit, and I think if I just hadn't come, I don't think our friendship would have happened. So that's a huge impact, positive impact on my life.
The other question is can I go trick or treating with you guys? Can I go trick or treating?
We'll see. Yeah. Well,
you tell me where you're going to go. I live in Sully, which is halfway between Des Moines and Ottumwa. So
I know where Sully is.
Yep.
I know it well. Well, we'll see. Do they have big candy bars in your neighborhood?
No. Sully's a bad place to go.
Yeah.
No.
There's a bad. We trick or treat till we were teenagers when I was a kid, and then because there's 7 kids in my family, and then my brothers would, especially my brother Chris, would get his. That was really all our loot, all our candy for a while, and he would spit on his so that we didn't steal it.
No.
Or he would say he did. He'd say he did.
You never dared to chance it.
Yeah.
You never know for sure.
Are people really going to be trick or treating?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, small town. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wears masks around here. Are you kidding me? I mean, I can go to my Walmart and they say that you have to wear a mask, but if I'm not wearing one, because I already had it on March 3. So I'm like, I'm not going to give it to anybody, and I'm not going to get it again. So, you know.
Yeah, I feel like there was masks when we went to Mo's house and stuff.
People did pretty well. People did they did. I actually did better in Ottumwa than Des Moines. I noticed. Yeah. Well, we're with the kids, so the kids think Iowa is Disneyland, man.
It is,
and they absolutely love it.
If you guys want to drive tractors or combines, fly drones, anything like that, that's all stuff that we do around here on the regular. So.
We got drones. We got drones right here. We know every neighbor that lays out by their pool. That we had topless neighbors in our last place. We keep track, man.
Nice.
And my brother has a whole weird farm set up down there, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, we just use drones to keep track of cows and pigs mainly.
Yeah, well, you know, that too.
Yeah, you do.
That too. But no, I know how it works.
And I want to come to Iowa and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, Christian's going to come here one of these days, and as soon as he get out of Montana.
Yeah,
I did a Broadway tour for a year. We played Des Moines and a couple other.
What? You did? What play? Hold on. What did you do?
So I played William Barfay in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Christian's a huge YouTuber. He's got like over 1 billion views on YouTube.
Christian.
I doth do, yeah.
Oh my God.
The reason I know
couple small movies, and
I had to try to fix him up with our waitress down in Texas. We were like, oh man, she was hot. She's really hot.
Man.
Well, hey, I'll be your wingman, and I'll tell her that you've got over 1 billion views on YouTube. And he was like, well, I do. It's like, all right. Well, that's what I told the waitress, and she was impressed.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I wish I did. Now
I love a song and dance, man. Christian.
Yeah. She loves that. Yeah. Suddenly, because Sasha's like, forget money.
Oh, I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, I'll have to send you some of my stuff if you want to see
it. Please do. For real.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sasha,
awesome.
Her dreams to go on a Broadway tour.
Yeah, Christian's a blast.
No kidding. Yeah, and I was assistant director with Lion King.
for playing Mrs. Mears in Thoroughly Modern Millie. I don't want to drop anything.
Wait. Say that again.
Mrs. Mears in Thoroughly Modern Millie.
You played Mrs. Mears?
Yeah, which you could never do today, but yeah.
I freaking love that show.
Yeah.
It's one of I grew up on that show because my parents both did musical theater and stuff, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're talking to Mr. King and I over here too.
Well, when I was a kid, at the end, I say the reason that I wanted to become an actor is go get my grandma's trophy. When I was a kid, the Atomic Community Players, I always which I love my grandma, and she was very involved with the Atomic Community Players. And I played one of the kids in The King and I, the woman that played Anna, the most beautiful woman in Atomo, Iowa, Mrs. Bickford.
It's almost gonna break.
Okay, she.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had my program, and I went up to her, and I did have a mom. So you imagine what I thought about the most beautiful woman. Here's one of my Dottie's best actors. I don't know if you could read that.
Oh my gosh!
The thing I got when she passed away was her trophies, but the most beautiful woman in town. I said, "Would you sign my program?" And she did, and she kissed me on top of the head. And I just felt this thing go through my whole body. And I thought, if that's what you get when you're an actor, then I want to be an actor with most beautiful woman in the world kissing you on top of the head.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I am in on that.
So that was the exact moment for you when you knew you wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That feeling like having this beautiful woman kiss you on top of the head.
Oh, yeah. Tom, I was going to ask if you wanted to come on another time and let's talk. I mean, Monty he's the political guy.
I know.
He knows
in 8 days,
I'm in the film.
We are going to crush Donald
Trump. I know you are.
And then we'll talk, and then we'll all breathe.
We talked about you. I've been invited to a local news organization here has invited me to do a live thing on election night.
Yeah.
I still haven't decided if I want to do it or not, but if I do it, do you want to come on, Tom, for like 5 minutes and talk about it or something?
Which local thing is it?
It's with the Oski News, Oskaloosa News.
Look at that. My King and I uniform. It say my grandma saved it. That's what I wore, my costume of the King and I.
That's awesome.
They used to have a display at what's the restaurant there? I don't know if it was Arby's or the Oski. I think you should do it. I don't know. Well, maybe, buddy.
Yeah, maybe I'll just call you, and if you answer that night, then you answer. If you don't, you don't. You can be a Lewandowski.
How funny would that be? I'd rather wrestle Lewandowski or something. No, but that's good for you. You got to do it.
It's. I mean, if Trump loses, it's going to be epic, and if Trump wins, it's going to be epic. Either way, election night's going to be
epic. What is that? No, it's going to be terrible.
Well, historic. I mean, I'm just going to use the word historic because
definitely memorable.
Yeah.
Well, no, every day is memorable. The next few days are going to be memorable.
Something that will
historic.
I gotta go, guys.
Sasha, so good to see
you. It's going to be historic. I mean, it's
follow Christian on.
Because I will say the nonsense that they are putting out, and they're going to continue to pump out the next 8 days is crazy. I got a heads up on, because people in the campaign are sharing with me the plans. It's insane. You think it's insane now? The stuff they're pumping out is just going to go. It's not like they're going to, like Michelle Obama's like, when they go low, we go high. It's not like they're going to do that. It's not like I'm going to do it either. I'm going to stay low with them, but it's just going to be, and it's not like November 3rd. Everybody's like, okay, I have to say this too. In the year 2000, that election, as we know, it was decided finally on the 12th of December. Yeah. But Al Gore finally they went to the Supreme Court. But on the 12th of December in the year 2000, I was at Al Gore's house, the vice president residence in Washington, D.C. And Tipper Gore, there was about 10 of us maybe, and she was making us a breakfast, making us some food. And it was Al Gore, their family, and I don't know if it was Whoopi Goldberg, a couple people that worked hard on the campaign, and it was me, and I can't remember who I was married to at the time, but I'd been invited over. I was in Washington, D.C., and they said, come on over. We got a little group of us, and it was very personal. And then Al Gore said, I got to go make a speech. And he went upstairs and he made his concession speech. And I thought, that kind of grace. I said, first of all, why am I allowed to be in here at such a personal, intimate moment? But
I've asked myself that many times too.
Yeah. Why? Have you been at Al Gore's advice? Have you been at the Naval Observatory when the president conceded the election?
No, that's epic. That's epic.
No, but you've been a photographer. You've been the eyeballs on all those things.
No.
But I thought that's the kind of grace that, that we will not see by Donald Trump. I'll tell you that. So, but maybe we will as Americans get together after this and start doing that with each other.
Yeah. We have to, no matter what side we're on, we're going to have to. It's kind of like 9/11. We're just going to have to come together, or we're going to fall apart. It's going to be.
Got to come together.
I'm not going to fall apart.
Look, I have faith in the majority of America that is pretty sensible. I think. Yeah.
That, well, we got to, the people that don't can just go back to whatever frickin' hole they were in.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've tried. It's not up to us to go, oh, please come down. Don't you get it's up? They just gotta make them go to therapy.
Voters are going to speak out. Voters are going to make the decision, and then we have to accept it peaceably. That decision.
Yeah, they do have to.
I don't know if you saw the ad. The two guys running for Utah governor put out an ad. It's amazing. If we all need that attitude.
Yeah, it's like this.
Old stomping ground.
Yeah, the other people that won't accept it, it's like this. You get in a marriage, you try, and then you got to get a divorce. And that's how it is, those people. We tried to, but at a certain point, we can't stay in a relationship with those toxic people either. We divorced Trump, and we got to divorce those guys. We have to move on for the children.
Yep.
So we've tried. We can't stay in a relationship with the worst person in the world or his fans. So that's what you do. That's why we have elections. We're in a democracy. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Tom.
Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Giving up.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Hey, we'll see you.
Bye. Take care, Tom.
Bye.
Take care.
See
Hold on. Hey, I'm going to keep you on, Christian.
Yeah.
So we'll let Tom go, and then we'll wrap up the Fathead show. So, so Tom, Arnold, Sasha Boggs, that was a great show. We talked about some things. We've got some F-bombs to remove in the edit, but other than that, I think it went pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was definitely entertaining.
Well,
whether or not we, we neither condone nor support certain,
Well, that's the thing. We try to hold ourselves to some neutrality because I think there's just a civility to it, but we tried to bring in Corey, we tried to bring in Tana to talk to oppose Tom's views on Trump, but they couldn't do that. That's okay. I think we were fair and balanced, and
I think so.
Just stole
I like Tom,
isn't Sasha great too?
She's great.
Yeah, yep, she's great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's.
I'm surprised that Tom, on camera beat Sasha though. That was.
Used her in such a way. It was terrible. I mean, elbowing her in the face or whatever.
An elbow in the face, yeah.
Elbow in the face. I should probably call the Beverly Hills Police Department right now. Actually, we have it on video.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not taken out of context.
We're at an hour and 37 minutes, so let's wrap up this episode.
All right.
18th episode of Fathead with Christian and Monty.
That's right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. Hit subscribe, follow, and whatever else.
Please share. Please share.
It.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. All right. We'll see you later, Christian.
See you, Monty.